B-Mac, we want to talk about your Steelers. Of course, they are facing the Commanders, and one of the most, fun parts of the NFL in the preseason is if you had told us, fast forward to Week 10, and we're talking about these teams potentially going to the Super Bowl, we probably would have not believed anybody because both of these teams were the long shots in their respective divisions. B-Mac, fast forward to now, which one of these teams is more of a Super Bowl sleeper in your opinion?
I'll go with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I was going to say, you weren't, come on, B-Mac, you weren't really thinking. Come on.
Yeah, but hear me out, though. Hear my reasons out why I think they're the biggest sleepers, because to your point, Jacqueline, when the season started, the outsiders, the experts, when they gave their divisional predictions, most had Pittsburgh finishing dead last in their division. Best case scenario, third. Clearly, they have defied those odds already. And then when you look at Washington, yes, you had a young quarterback, a new quarterback, a rookie head coach, but some people felt like this was a playoff caliber team. No one really was saying those same sentiments with the Pittsburgh Steelers, along with a guy who many felt like was a cast-off when it came to the quarterback position in Russell Wilson. They felt like Russell had nothing, could do anything. People had concerns about Justin Fields because of what he did or did not do with the Chicago Bears. So when you look at everything that was going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and oh, by the way, having one of the more difficult schedules in the National Football League, I think they're the biggest sleeper. And then another thing that I like in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers, their road to the Super Bowl is not as deep as it is in the NFC with the Commanders and everything they have to go through to try to get to that promised land, which is New Orleans. I think because of that issue, not having the quantity of high-level teams in the AFC compared to the NFC can actually help Pittsburgh being the bigger sleeper of the two.
I agree with a lot of things B-Mac said there. I do. And one thing that I believe in that also makes Pittsburgh such sleepers right now is obviously Mike Tomlin. He has such a winning pedigree. He's been there before. He's been in these situations. He knows how to lead this team and get them to where they want to go. But B-Mac, we just sat here and talked about, before we went live, there's a kid named Jaden Daniels in Washington right now that is absolutely lighting it up. I mean, he is Joe Cool. He is Mr. Smooth. And I'll tell you, him and Cliff Kingsbury, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. And that's so important because Cliff Kingsbury has such a history of coaching players with the same type of skill set. You think back to Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams. The list goes on and on and on. So he really knows how to extract all of this talent out of such a young superstar. And you look how he's been able to help Terry McLaurin become more of a superstar. Well, that's because of Jaden Daniels and his ability to get him the ball, being able to make plays with his legs and free him up in the passing game. And what does that all come back to? Cliff Kingsbury and how he's orchestrating this offense. They've got some veteran guys on this defense, Daron Payne, John Allen. They just traded for Marcus Lattimore. I mean, they are stacking their chips to not only be a sleeper team for this year, but for years to come, them continue to build their program to be Super Bowl favorite, or not favorites, but Super Bowl and a Super Bowl expectation year in and year out.
Right, and it was a conversation at the trade deadline. Hey, do we build for now? Because we weren't really expecting to versus, right. But it feels like they're set for the future as well with Jaden Daniels. Lattimore not going to be playing because of a hamstring injury, but Mike Williams, the new addition over there in Pittsburgh, is set to play. Let's talk about some other injury news. A big one here is Christian McCaffrey. Shanahan saying that he is going off of IR. He is good to go. This is something that Niners fans have been waiting for a very, very long time. What do you need to see from Christian McCaffrey? Because the Niners, they do start slow historically as well. They have dealt with their fair share of injuries. But how much they need from this guy in order to get back into the swing of things?
Yes, well, this is obviously great for San Francisco. But to me, this comes with a lot of questions. Yeah. First of all, his availability and his durability. Christian McCaffrey is a guy that they use all over the field. They use him in the run game. They use him in the pass game. They use him in gadget plays. He's all over the field. Well, he's coming off an injury that has sidelined him the entire season. So how much of a workload can he actually take on when the San Francisco 49ers actually need him to help get them going throughout the rest of the season? Then I also look at Jordan Mason. He's really played well for this San Francisco's offense. He's ran the ball really well. He's in a great rhythm. Well, how do you split that workload? Who gets the ball in that situation? Because McCaffrey is your guy. It's the guy that you paid all this money for. He's one of the most prolific running backs in the NFL. But you have a young guy that has found his rhythm, that is running the ball really well. He fits into this offense incredibly well. well. I mean, you can't just throw Christian back in the lineup and then sit this young guy in Jordan Mason, who, by the way, is 4th in the league in rushing, and just tell him to, oh, okay, well, we got our guy back, just sit down. Well, no, because the offense is moving like a somewhat of a well-oiled machine. Now, Christian McCaffrey can definitely enhance that, but you have to be careful of how you manage him in this situation. You don't want to set him up and just throw him out there, throw the kitchen sink at him, and then, he breaks down and he gets hurt again. And at the same time, you don't want to mess with a good thing that's working in Jordan Mason in this run game.
Yeah, and Niner Nation has dealt with enough injury for so far this season. So they're like, please protect Christian McCaffrey. B-Mac, Damian, we certainly appreciate going with us for the injury news, all of the storylines for Week 10 in the NFL. And, of course, the NFL on CBS has got you covered on Sunday. That Steelers-Commanders matchup we were talking about in the 1 o'clock slate. And then at 4:25 Eastern, we have an NFC East matchup with the Eagles and the Cowboys. Just a reminder, you can stream all of this on Paramount Plus as well.